Counting double-digit thousands.
Welcome to Everything Top 10, where we release new top 10 videos every other day. Today we are going to look at top 10 most underrated movies of 2016. The Lobster takes place in a world where people go to a hotel and are forced to either couple off or be turned into an animal. For Colin Farrell, who goes there after his wife cheats on him, he wishes to be made into a lobster. If this sounds like the strangest movie ever made, that's because it is, but it's also deeply affecting on the work of a master filmmaker Greek Yorgos Lanthimos. At turns bleak and hopeful, The Lobster is genuinely unlike anything you've seen. Ben Wheatley is one of those fearless filmmakers whose imagination is never inconvenienced by his relatively small budget. High Rise, his loopy dystopian satire based on the book by J.G. Ballard, really pushes this to the extreme. Tom Hiddleston plays a doctor who moves into a futuristic apartment building, whose architects seem to be hiding insidious motives and whose residents are driven slowly insane. It's a combination of George Orwell and Stanley Kubrick brilliance. Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping is a perfectly silly parody of the kind of stage-managed documentary that represents the genre at present. The trio play styled boys, a boy band who had a couple of big hits in the 2000s, but fell apart after lead singer Connor went solo, fell out with his lyricist Lawrence and relegated Owen to being his DJ. As Connor for real, his meteoric success is defined by his all-too personal relationship with his fans, or confidants, who hang on his every bowel movement via Instagram.
Oh, it takes a village to make me look dope.
Yo, he's the star.
Now, when I hear or see Nazis, my instincts kick in and I just run away without even looking back, but Green Room deserved a chance. It is a horror movie about a punk band that plays a Nazi bar and then, for reasons I won't get into, get trapped in the back of the bar and have to fight to survive. Everything unfolds naturally. The heroic punks are just as smart and pushy as the neo-Nazis, and every conflict is resolved through a combination of luck, wit and will. This is a movie that doesn't need to talk down to you, because it knows it's smarter than you and it's confident enough to not even hate you for it.
Over soon, gentlemen.
Look away.
Shane Black is the first screenwriter you learn about when you start paying attention to who writes movies. A Nice Guy is probably the best execution of Shane's screenwriting skills.
You're in the pool?
Yeah.
Why?
I had to question the mermaid.
So if you've scrolled TV tropes or smugly muttered to yourself saw that coming while watching an action movie, but you didn't get to see The Nice Guys, then something is clearly wrong with you.
Promise me you'll get them.
Yeah, I promise.
Pinky promise?
But there is still time to turn things around. Free yourself of existential guilt by watching this movie.
I think I'm invincible. I don't think I can die. Let me. It's not the smart idea.
March!
How willing are you to die for your country? I'm ready to go right here, right now.
When he's firing on all cylinders, he can produce a film as ludicrously entertaining as The Rock. The latest film, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, isn't one of the variety, but it is at least a step in the right direction for the universally loathed filmmaker Michael Bay. 13 Hours centers on the true story of a group of security agents who defend the US compound against terrorists in Libya, many of whom probably saw a Michael Bay film and made their minds up there and then. Bay delivers a brilliant adrenaline rush to make up for it.
Books are for white folks. They're full of things your kind wouldn't understand. You're a special boy, Nathaniel. Study hard here.
It's worth mentioning that this film premiered to an unprecedented acclaim at Sundance at the beginning of the year. The worldwide rights were bought for $17.5 million, a record figure for a deal inked at the festival. There's a lot of chest pounding and posturing. Parker cites Mel Gibson's blustering epic Braveheart as an influence, and it shows. His depiction of Turner borders on the Messiah.
1,000 times again.
And from the ashes of their woes, we'll build a better one!
Granted, X-Men Apocalypse is the showiest entry in the X-Men prequels canon to date. It lacks the punchiness of First Class and the inventiveness of Days of Future Past. It also made a lot less money at the box office than its predecessors, suggesting that finally this franchise might have outstayed its welcome. Having said that, the generally negative reception towards this film feels unearned. This isn't exactly The Dark Knight, but it's still a fun, entertaining ride from start to finish, one with an almost Shakespearean quality that casts its titular villain, Apocalypse, as a tragic villain. Indeed, much of the criticism was thrown at Apocalypse, played by wonderful Oscar Isaac, deeming him to be a rather forgettable adversary. One could argue, however, that their reading of the character fails to consider the inherently sad nature of Apocalypse's situation, thrown out of time, doomed from start, and that billboard where it was apparently promoting violence against women. Let's just laugh at that and forget the 48% it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ahoy, ahoy! I did not know you were here.
It cannot be denied that Batman vs Superman is flawed. It plainly is. The plot is unclear and messy, the relationship between its heroes makes little sense, and the action scenes leave a lot to be desired for on their ability to hold your interest. One critic loathed the film to such an extent that he declared it to be the worst superhero movie ever. But even when you take fan response into account, who were far more positive, might be dark and sour, but that's totally appropriate for the world it portrays. Ben Affleck is the best screen Batman ever. The movie clearly sets out to address the notion of collateral damage, and there are some wonderful images embedded throughout, especially those that paint Superman as a god.
The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
In The Accountant, Ben Affleck plays as Christian Wolf, a savant-level genius accountant and high-functioning autistic who launders money for mobsters. He also happens to be great at martial arts, with the special forces level of weapons use and the combat training because his army father trained him as a kid to stop being bullied. Now, being a part qualified accountant myself, I just had to watch the film, and to be quite honest, I wasn't expecting more than just some fraud cases and maybe 1 or 2 murders, and oh boy did I love this film, and to be honest, I don't care what the critics say. Affleck was amazing in this film, the film was a work of genius, and I got to see Renan Schillinger from the 1997 Oz.